Hey everyone, today I'm going to go over the August budget for 2020 and share my first paycheck budget of the month. Our month runs a little bit late. We always start on the 5th when we get our first paycheck from my husband, so that's why this is a little bit later than other people who do August budgets on YouTube. First, I made a new cover page for myself, and I just wanted to share my reasons why I budget and try to save and do all of the things I do here, and that is freedom, time with my family, and no obligations like debt, because those weigh on me a lot as a burden. So I just have several reasons why personal finance is so important to me, and getting my money under control matters. My goals for this month with my budget are spending control, keeping my spending on track and tracking it and making sure that it reconciles with what I have budgeted, and also getting back to school with my daughter going to preschool for the first time. Well, I guess it's school. We call it school. It's technically school, but she's only 2. And then finding ways to relax and to just calm down and slow down, because the pace of life picked up a lot once I went back to work. So this is my calendar for the month, and I like to just write out my bills on the actual calendar so that I can see them visually and know when they are due. So I wrote down the bills that I know when they are due, and then I have a lot of bills toward the end of the month and then not as many in the beginning of the month. This means our first budget tends to get our sinking funds and most of that out of the way, so we do a lot of our savings out of our first budget of the month, and then our second budget is a lot of our bills, and that's worked out pretty well for us. And honestly, I think this time it will as well, even though my first paycheck is going to be a little bit less this month. Out of habit, I wrote down our mortgage due on Wednesday, but it does not come out on Wednesdays anymore, so I need to make sure that I actually adjust it and make sure that I have the date right. Our mortgage did change recently, and we have set it up on automatic bi-weekly withdrawals, so that is something to remember for myself and for everyone out there. If your bills change, which sometimes they do, things reset. Our utilities, for example, reset, so they're not due the same time anymore. In July, they changed a lot of things with those, including increasing our rates. So just keep an eye on your bills, because even if stuff is set up for auto pay, things may change. We are going on a trip in the beginning of the month from the 9th to the 15th. Hopefully that trip is a big part of the relaxing and chilling that I need this month to contain. I've been a bit behind on my videos because of other stuff that's going on in life, so I just need some time to relax from everything. This is a page that's in my budget planner that I don't really ever show on this channel, but I find it very helpful when I'm helping someone new look at budgeting. And it basically just shows you the before the budget items, things that come out of your paycheck. So we have 401k, a health FSA, a daycare FSA, and then I have a small amount that goes to a separate savings account for something in the future. We both also have our work life insurance come out of our account, and then I did not write it down on this for some reason, but I have health insurance come out of my paycheck. So we do have a lot of deductions that come out before our budget. So our budget is our take home, but that means we have quite a bit of money that goes not only to taxes, but to other things before our budget actually starts. So our budget pre-plan is staying on budget, and we are going to get back to school. We have to buy some school supplies, and we have to make sure that Penny has everything she needs. They sent us a list. I didn't even realize preschoolers needed school supplies, but apparently they do, and we have some things to buy for her by August 7th, so we are going to budget $50 for that. And then, of course, we are going on our trip, so we are going to be budgeting this month $400 for that trip. We had saved already last month in a sinking fund $400 without really having a plan. We're just kind of trying to figure out some trips for this year that are maybe a way to relax. So my to-dos for the month are to get all of the school holidays onto my calendar, because when they are not in school, I have to find alternative childcare, and that's a little bit different from the daycare that I previously used that pretty much only closed on actual holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then on the second to do for me is to plan our next trip beyond this one. So now let's hop into the monthly budget, and I'll tell you guys what we have planned. For our salary, we're going to plan for $5,500. We've been planning for $5,000, but we are pretty much always going over it. I know that my check this first time is going to be a little bit lower, so it won't be as much as we've had every paycheck, so we're going to go with that lower number. we are planning $400 for Roth IRA, and then we're planning $25 for the 529 plan for my daughter's college. For M1 Finance, I have $25 going into that, my first paycheck. And then Robinhood, I'm going to give myself $25 to play around with, and then also put $25 in our emergency fund. That's at a comfortable level for us, but I want to keep adding to it, not in a crazy amount, but I'm just going to throw a little bit here and there so that it keeps growing and is continually adding up, even though we're not like focused on it right now. So our mortgage is $1,300 for the month, and that comes out twice. And then our daycare is going to be $600, which is school, preschool, same thing. I just still stuck on calling it daycare. Then I have 2 therapy sessions, which is $260. Our utilities are going to probably be around $300 again. That is an increase because our county actually increased it, and they let everybody know because everyone complained about higher bills. So we have internet for $70. My gym membership, this is the last month that I'm paying it. It's $150, and then I'm done with that. And then life insurance is $33 for me for my life insurance. And then our security system monitoring is $25. And then we also pay for Netflix, which is $15. So when we add all of that up, we get a pretty hefty amount. I feel like this category has gotten bigger, so we're left with $2,247. So next we're moving on to sinking funds. We have our phone bill, which we put $50 aside, and then we pay once a year. That's $50 for 2 phones, and then we have a once a year payment to Mint Mobile. Then we have my husband's life insurance bill, which we save up to pay quarterly. It's $35. We have car insurance, $75 that we pay every 6 months. And then car repair, we're going to put $50 aside for that. House fund, $50. Dogs, $50. And then we are also saving for Christmas, so we're doing $25. And then travel, since that is coming up this month and maybe next month or the month after, we're going to save $530 for that. So that's a total of $865. And then we are left with a total for all of our variable spending for the month of $1,382. So grocery, we're going to do $500. Giving, we will do $300. And then for gas, we will do $150 for the month. So that's about $75 every 2 weeks, or really like one fill up a week with our new car. So we are going to also have school supplies that we have to buy. So I'm going to budget $50 for that. Jason gets $200 a month, $100 every paycheck for personal money. I get $100. And then we have a miscellaneous category for all these little things. That is $50. And then we have a checking account buffer for $32. And that is just helpful for us to make sure that we don't forget anything. And if we do, we have a little bit of a buffer in our checking account, so we're not overdrafting and making mistakes in that way. And sometimes when we don't budget or we don't budget carefully, that buffer gets eaten up, so it's always nice to replenish it. After looking at my calendar, I can see which bills that I have to pay in the first paycheck, and that means that I will be doing certain ones this paycheck, and then I will cover as many sinking funds as I possibly can with this amount of money. So for paycheck number 1 of the month, on the 5th and 7th, when we both get paid, that is going to be $2,286, and that is the amount that we're going to work with because we don't really have much else coming in. So Roth IRA is going to be something that we do in the month, and I do $100 every single week on Transfer Tuesdays, so that will be $200 for my Roth IRA. Then M1 Finance, $25, and I will be putting the emergency fund money of $25 into our emergency fund this month in this paycheck as well. That's a little bit smaller of a amount in our pay ourselves first category, but still close to 10%, so I'm happy with that. That's $250. That leaves us with $2,036 to pay all of our bills and expenses. So our mortgage will come out, and it will be $650. We will pay daycare for just 1 week, so we do have a little bit of flexibility because we don't have to pay when we're not here, so that means we're only paying $150. Then I have a therapy appointment, which will cost $130. That eventually will get reimbursed from my health FSA, but I have to file claims, so it doesn't ever come out like that quickly. Therefore, I just pay it out of pocket, and then eventually we get the money back, and we can use it for new therapy appointments or to pay off debt or something like that. On the 6th, we have life insurance for me come out, and that is the last bill that we have for the first paycheck. So it's $963 in fixed expenses and bills. So next we'll move on to sinking funds, and we will do our phones, which is $50. Then, because travel is so big right now in our minds, we are going to do $300. And then car insurance, which is $75. We will also do the car repair sinking fund for $50. And of course, none of these are like necessary to do on this paycheck. I just like to get them out of the way so the next paycheck is a little bit more flexible because there are more bills. Life insurance, $35, dogs, $50, and house, $50. So that's $610 for those, and then $463 left. So we had planned grocery, $250, Jason, $100 in personal money, Mary, $50 in personal money, and then school supplies, $50. And here's where I realized that I did not plan for gas when I was kind of pre-budgeting out this in my mind. I just totally skipped over gas, but we need gas money, so I canceled out the car insurance sinking fund and then moved that $75 to pay for gas because we will need gas, and then we can always do the car insurance sinking fund next paycheck. So I did cancel that out and kind of switched it up while I was budgeting in real time. And as you can see, I just crossed it out and then adjusted the numbers. So instead of $610, it's $535 and then $538 left. That gave us the money to budget for gas for this paycheck period. And then it still left us with a buffer of $13. But our variable expenses equaled to $538, which is a zero balance at the end. And then I just made a note for myself that next paycheck I have to save for car insurance. So that's kind of how I did that. This is our plan, and it's going to be flexible, of course. So thank you guys for watching.